ξέρεις ότι όλο αυτό δεν πρόκειται να σταματήσει, έτσι δεν είναι? Σε λίγο θα είσαι ένα τίποτα. Ένα άδειο κέλυφος. Στο χέρι σου είναι λοιπόν να σταματήσουμε.
Κάνε ό,τι καταλαβαίνεις.
Άρα δεν σημαίνουν τίποτα για σένα όλα αυτά.
¿Crees que la manada encontrará el camino?
Κυρία, μπορείτε να μου δώσετε κάτι να φάω? Και άμα περισσεύει κάτι για τον φίλο μου τον Μπάντι. Μαμά!
Debord was a revolutionary. He was born in Paris in 1931.
Debord was 26 when he helped to found the Situationist International.
The problem with Debord, David, is he was too much of a Leninist.
Carl, the problem with Debord is that he was not Leninist enough.
There's a painting by Paul Klee called Angelus Novus. The painting depicts an angel.
Welcome.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello from Greece.
Hello from Glasgow in Scotland.
Hello from Athens, Greece.
Hello from Athens, Greece.
And hello from Thessaloniki.
Okay. So we have a friend from abroad, so we will continue in English, I think, all of us.
Thank you. Thank you very
who
much.
understand English. So we are in another session of Inspire TV live talks during the 11th Bridges International Film Festival. Welcome, David, Dimitri, Harry, and Nico. More people can enter if they want. I don't know if they watch us in Facebook. I share this in several pages right now. Νίκο, είσαι μόνος σου? Δεν ήρθε ο Θάνος μαζί σου?
Να μιλήσω στα ελληνικά, στα αγγλικά.
Ό,τι θες. Πάρτε ένα τηλέφωνο να πει μέσα.
Μπορώ να του στείλω ένα μήνυμα.
Στείλτε ένα μήνυμα, ναι. Χάρη.
Hello, yeah. Τα λέμε μετά από χρόνια επιτέλους. Long time no see.
Ναι, είχαμε και την ταινία. We have some films in Cyprus Film Festival also. But this version of Bridges International Festival is completely virtual. All Greece is in lockdown, so we don't have the possibility to meet in a screening theater next year. So, would you like to tell us a bit about your films? We watched some trailers. Every day we watch different trailers of films. Harry, would you like to start with your film?
First of all, I'm very happy because I have the chance to speak about my film, because right now it's my film has 11 official selections from festivals all around the world, and it's the first time that I get the chance to speak about my film. It was an idea, child organ trafficking. It was an idea that I had many years ago. I had a screenplay, but it was very difficult to do it on my own. So we had sent our screenplay to the Hellenic Film Center, but they rejected us. So I had an idea last year of, the camera to be at the same position at the same place, and the box to be the protagonist, the ice box, where we put ice and beers and stuff. That was the main idea last year, and I add the screenplay and the same thematic about the child organ trafficking, and I wrote the script in the first quarantine. So when we got out from the first quarantine on late of April and early of May, I had to produce on my own my film. Of course, the many colleagues and friends helped me to do the film, and the first shooting was on the last weekend on May, and the last shootings were the first weekend of June, and after that the post-production had started. That's
So
more or less
lucky.
Yes, is the story of my film. And we were lucky because we didn't have to wear masks during that period, and because it's an independent film, we didn't have the money and to do tests for COVID or to have the permissions for the whole crew to do the film. We were very light during that period. If it was now, it would be very difficult to shoot that film. Yeah. More or less, that's the story of the beers. Guys, I don't know if you know it. I'm Gioulatos. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm screenwriter, director, and producer of the movie Off for Some Beers. And I'm very lucky because the first thing that I did, I watched the Greek first I watched the Greek films, short films, and I'm very lucky because every film is very unique, every Greek film, and it's very important to have your film among in such very tremendous films. That's it from me.
Bravo. I didn't know that you shot your film this year.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you do the post-production, you submitted already, and you are in 11 festivals.
Yeah.
Bravo, well done. Dimitri, what about you? What about your film?
I am Dimitrios, and this is Sofia, who is the lead actress in the film. It was a film was shot.
The title of your film.
The film is in Memoriam. Mm-hmm. It is a science fiction, essentially short film, science fiction thriller. It was shot in January this year, so it was just before the lockdowns and other precautionary measures. It was shot in a cold, damp basement, so everybody got sick after the shooting, and I think everybody is still angry at me for that, because the only heating we had was a malfunctioning radiator. Yes, Sophia still hasn't forgiven me about that. But anyway, the film is it is heavily inspired by works like 1984, George Orwell's, Terry Gilliam's Brazil, Animal Farm, and it's basically an idea that had been floating in my head for a pretty long time now. It's because the subject of personal identity and the ability of a higher authority, a government, for example, to control somebody's thought and identity is a theme that is really fascinating and interesting to me. So basically, it was my thought of which is one of the, if, for example, I was such an authority, what would be the most effective way to control somebody who is opposing? So, it is about erasing memories, and it's about creating essentially a new identity for somebody based on these, essentially making somebody lose themselves, lose their whole identity, lose everything that makes a person a person. So, thanks. And so,
is this your first short film?
Actually, no. It is my yes, it's my 5th short film. Actually, my previous short film, The Bureaucrat, has participated in the British Film Festival last year, in 2019.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I was unable to attend then. Also, I had attended the Bridges Festival in person in 2017 with
exactly.
the Spirits.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had met then. Yes. Hopefully again next year. We'll see. So about the film, it has already participated in several film festivals around the world. It has won 8 awards, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Yes, 8 awards.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So.
Okay, tell the whole the whole truth. It was rejected where, in which festival?
It was, yes, it was rejected from...
Of course, it's part of the process.
Yes. It was rejected from several festivals, actually.
It happens sometimes.
Yes.
But I'm glad that
you have some Greek festival in mind.
No, it was rejected in Cyprus.
In Cyprus, okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, it's the theme. It depends. But next year you can apply again, because every film that is it is selected in one of the festivals, it is eligible to apply to the affiliate, to the sister festival. So, David, Nice to meet you.
Nice
After
to see you
Creta.
again. I can't remember when it was we met. Was it 2017 or 2018 in Crete?
Yeah, 3 years ago. We were both
so
participants
yes,
looking
yes,
for our screening. Where our film?
Yeah, that's right. Very special filmmakers only screening. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yes.
That was good to see you there. Well, firstly, thank you for inviting the film into the festival, and congratulations on managing to get through with the festival. I know I'm involved in festival here, and I know how difficult it is. So I salute you salute your efforts.
Thank you. Let's make a parenthesis now that you run a festival as well, or you are in the board, and my films are always rejected.
I sit on the board of the festival, but I don't sit on the selection process. And they are quite fierce. The programmers make the decisions. I don't program anything.
So no bad feelings, guys.
No, but I would love to. Yeah, well, we should talk about maybe screening some of your work in the UK if at some point for sure. The film, the film that's screening here is a film called Drifting with Debord, which is written and directed by myself and my colleague, who's next door in the university. I'm sitting in the University of Glasgow in the film department. And of course, it was made by many people. It was shot and edited by 𝘂𝗍𝗄𝗃, and a whole range of people were involved in the production. And
he's putting a special makeup now in order to join us.
No, he's not coming. He's away doing some 𝘃𝗶𝗍𝗏. But in the film, we set up a few years ago a project called Glasgow Glam Rock Dialogue. We're both academics and we get dressed up as glam rock stars. We're not actual glam rock stars, you'll be surprised to hear. But we get dressed up as glam rock stars, and then we have debates about politics and aesthetics, and we usually have quite heavy intellectual debates. And then when the audience are bored or falling asleep or engaged, then we break into song and we sing some songs. So we did in the films, the politics are quite radical political agenda. And we made a film about having a debate and a dialogue about a man called Debord, who was the author of a book called The Society of the Spectacle, and the main theoretician in the Situationist International, which was one of the prominent groups in the Paris '68 movement. So in the film, we sort of debate his legacy and life, but the film is like watching a theatre, a theatre version where we debate these things in theatre, and then we film that, and then the film breaks out and drifts into the past through footage of Glasgow and footage of a figure called the Angel of History. We took a text from Walter Benjamin, who's a Marxist philosopher and art critic, and he wrote a great short little essay called The Thesis on the Philosophy of History. And he writes a beautiful text about the Angel of History, and we took that text and then gave it some form in terms of a character who became the Angel of History in our film, and she walked through the city. So the film sort of drifts, and we were interested in thinking about what a drift in cinema might look like. Guy Debord wrote an essay called The Theory of the Derive, the theory of the drift, and we were interested in thinking about, particularly when we live in increasingly controlled environments where everything's regulated, even the world of cinema. We were interested in breaking with these societies of control, and thinking about how cinema might drift. So we don't really follow a linear narrative. The film's about interruption. There's interruptions in the sound design. There's interruptions in the edit. So we wanted to have a kind of effective experience when the viewers watch the film. And then we wrote 2 songs just for some fun. We're interested in pleasure and education. Although we're educationalists, we believe that learning should be fun. And we were interested in the situationist politics of joyous revolution. rather than revolutionary miserableism. We were interested in glam rock joy, and glam rock revolution. So that's the film. We hope it's funny. We hope it's fun, and you see us getting made up and dressed, and we're quite happy for people to poke fun at it.
Yeah, well, and I like that every film of yours is completely different, but all are crazy. All look crazy.
Yeah, I'm working on other things that are entirely different as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have the chance to speak more. Nico, you are still a student, right?
Hello, I'm Nikos. I'm 27 years old, and I come from a small city in northern Greece called 𝘂𝗁𝗄𝗯𝗀. For the past 3 years, I was studying cinema as a film director in the Hellenic Cinema and Television School Stavrakos. And I'm the screenwriter, director, and producer of the short film called Bάντι, which started as an exercise for school. But we had the intention to make something bigger, not just an exercise. Our first target was to learn something during the shootings and the post-production of the film. And this is my first participation in a festival, so I'm grateful for you kindly accepting my film.
And it is also a world virtual premiere, right?
Yes, it is its premiere, and all happened. I don't know. The post-production of the film ended in the first days of December. The shooting started last year, but because of the virus of COVID-19, the shootings ended in the mid of June. So we had some problems with the post-production that took so long, but the film ended in the last days of November, first days of December, and it is a great honor for me and all of us that it participates in the festival.
You have a great team also with you.
Yeah,
the actress, your DOP.
My DOP, 𝘂𝗍𝗆𝗆𝗀𝗆, is a great friend, first of all. We are studying together. We were studying together. Now we are not students of the school. But we have great chemistry. The actress Antigone Stavropoulou was very helpful. We had a very good relationship, a very good. I think I learned many things during our collaboration for the film, and I want to express my. I don't know. I want to say a big thanks to two people.
Gratitude.
To Asteris Giolas and Spyros Davaris, the assistant director and the editor of the film, that did everything for this film. Without them, I think that this film wouldn't have ended. Now, some words for the film. I remember very well the time that I wrote it. It was a time that I had difficulties coping with the fast-paced routine of my everyday life in Athens. And it emerged totally subconsciously. I still can't understand how I wrote this script. I don't feel like I directed or wrote it. It is about a young woman's obsession to have a child, and it is an obsession that can't be fulfilled. So she creates an artificial world, an imaginary world on her mind. And one day that she starts finding out that all this is fake, she turns furiously against her own self. I think that...
Don't reveal everything.
Ο spoilerάς.
It is a person. This is how you got to this idea. It is
I had a discussion.
Familiar to you. From
No, this was the first. I don't really know how, but I remember that I had a discussion with one of my friends in school, and he told me about a woman he knows that has so many dolls in her house, and she treats them like they are her children.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was the inspiration, I'm not sure. But as for the image, I think that it was heavily influenced by waves like German expressionism and surrealism. I think that I anticipate life as something non-linear, like broken pieces that maybe sometimes fit together, sometimes not, like it is a puzzle that sometimes is totally irrational. And my film is this, has this idea from its start to its finish. It is non-linear, it is black and white, and it has to do with an obsession, a dream, a nightmare in particular. I want also to thank everyone in school for helping me with that film. And the biggest gift for me is that we all learned many things during the shootings and the post-production. And I'm looking forward to creating many more things in the future.
Very good. Ari, do you remember your student films?
Of course I do.
Did we have one of them in the past in the festival?
No, it wasn't a student film.
Okay. Because, yeah, he talks so nice about...
My two student films was 2009 and 2011. And Butterfly, I think, the last film that I had in Bridges International Film Festival and Cyprus Film Festival was in 2013. So, a long time ago, even for this film, 7 years ago. But we're glad during this period I had to do some other projects, documentaries and episodes for television. And also I'm preparing my first feature film, which is very difficult to do. It's a very difficult thing to do in Greece, of course.
Why? It's an international production. What is this about?
No, it's not. It's about the torturings of 𝘃𝗍𝗄𝗃. 𝘃𝗍𝗄𝗃 wrote the method 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗁𝗃, and the method is the English title, and he describes the tortures that had in the 𝘂𝗶𝗱𝗁 period, in the period of Greek dictatorship. I did a theatrical play in a monologue in 2015, and I told to Pericles that my biggest love is cinema, not theater, and with your permission, I would like to write the method in cinematic screenplay. So we ran it from 2017, and we're waiting now for the second review of the Greek Hellenic, of the Hellenic Film Center.
Okay.
Good.
Good luck.
Thank you. But just to not rust a bit, I had my last feature film, no, my last narrative, not documentary film, was Butterfly in 2013, and I wanted to do something before my first feature film, if this would happen eventually in the future, I had to do a new narrative short film. So more or less that was the idea.
Try to make a pilot for the feature film.
Yeah, the idea was to do a pilot in form of a short documentary in 2017, just to send it to another producers. So we had to take an interview of 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗁 and to tell us why he wrote this book and to tell us about his tortures during the Greek dictatorship. And we saw that this short documentary was not documentary. This interview was, doing a little bit well, and it was like a very solid short documentary. So we shot an extra scenes and we sent it to the Drama Film Festival, and it won the award for Best Documentary in 2017 in Drama Festival.
How do you describe the genre of the feature film you talk about?
Political, or not political, historical drama.
I thought it would be horror.
No.
Seeing tortures.
Yeah, thriller, more or less, but it would be a historical drama.
Historical, okay, good. Thank you. Dimitri, what would you like to share with us from student films until your next project?
First of all, Karis gave me a good opportunity to talk about something we're also working on. I have also completed the screenplay for a horror film, which is also set in the period of dictatorship in Greece. Yes, but because I always wanted to do something like a historical drama, and the idea to combine it with essentially
the fantasy genre.
No, not exactly. Psychological horror.
Okay.
Not supernatural, I would say, but still, it was an idea of what that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's essentially it is basically it's set in 1973. Basically well researched based on actual events and timelines from that era, and set in a small village. The premise is about a mother who holds her daughter captive in the house, essentially, and she's trying to, yes, and her sister is trying to set her free.
It's great. It's a great idea. I'm very glad that our generation, is very ευαίσθητη. Πώς θα το πω?
Sensitive.
Our generation is very sensitive about this matter.
Yes. I think it's actually a very interesting idea, and I think I'm also glad to hear that it's a time period that young Greek directors and the creators are trying to base their works on, because I think there's a lot of great stories to be told there.
I will send you my documentary about 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗁.
Yes, I would love to see it. I haven't seen it, but
I have a question for Sophia.
Yes.
Yeah, how was your experience with Dimitri, being directed by him? Have you worked with him in the past?
Yes, like I had a small party in Bureaucrat. I liked his work and his passion about doing films, making films. And then we did the In Memoriam, and after that we also did a super short film at quarantine time about a mathematician. I like his calmness, how he treats the staff and the actors, and he has some panic attacks sometimes, but then he's calm again. But then, maybe a little anxious. And
Guilty. Yes.
I mean, she writes very well. She's a very good screenwriter, in my opinion. And she has a lot of fantasy, can I say that in English? She is very, yes, she has a great imagination, and she writes quite well, and I also like, his photography skills and how, he makes his τα κάδρα του.
Yes, the shot blocking.
The shots. Yes, and the
framing.
Very nice.
Yes. I also have to say that Sophia is an excellent actress, excellent collaboration. Actually, we essentially met at the same time where The Bureaucrat was being filmed, and excellent work ethic, very collaborative. An excellent actress overall, and it was really happy to keep making more movies and theatrical plays and everything that may come up in the future with her.
It's nice to have a good team and work again in a future project. If it is also acting, in acting, so it's even better. Okay, I don't know if you have understood that the three of you, the youngers, are pitching right now, because David is also an academic in film studies department, but he knows a lot of people. So I think maybe David has to do some questions to the three of you. What do you think, David?
Well, I mean, my knowledge of the filmmaking situation in Greece is minimal. I've obviously seen some Greek films, but I don't know what the position is for funding. I mean, how do you fund
storytelling? Did they convince you? Do you have questions? Both guys are working in a certain period of Greece. They are inspired about that. I don't know. They didn't create interest to you to ask them something to learn more.
Yeah. So the first period was under the Greek, the colonels. Harris's film was under the colonels, the generals, the Greek dictatorship.
I'm preparing a feature film during the Greek dictatorship. Yeah,
but I couldn't.
The colonels, not the generals. It's the dictators of the colonels.
I would say the colonels, but
It's based on a book, which 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗁𝗁 wrote. 𝘃𝗶𝗁𝗁𝗁 passed on April 16th of April, if I'm being correctly, okay. And but we were working the screenplay 2 years, 3 years before, And we have to give it for, first of all, we have to give it for the the late of development, for the screenplay development. The screenplay passed the latest development, and then we had to send again the full screenplay, the full draft, and we're waiting for the budget to come. First of all, we have to send to the Hellenic Film Center, to national television, and after that, it's if we find some idiotes, πώς θα το πω, idiotes, some investors, some private investors, like 𝘂𝗁𝗆, like.
This is commercial. This commercial investor.
Yeah. But I didn't catch Dimitrios's the period of the film you were talking about.
Yes, it's actually the same period.
The same period, yeah. I mean, of course, it's interesting to me as someone who I write quite a bit about cinema and history, and how there are certain periods in the past where cinema doesn't talk about events. But I don't know if we're living in a period now, generally, where talking about crisis and military police dictatorship is something that perhaps is going to be, there's a need to talk about that in a way that perhaps immediately in the immediate aftermath of the event, people didn't want to talk about it, because that happened in Spain during after the Spanish Civil War. Then people didn't talk about it, and it was, they have this thing called third memory, or the third generation. They need to talk about it, because if they don't talk about it now, then the people that lived through it won't be around anymore. So I don't know if maybe maybe it's not a coincidence that you're talking about this at this particular moment. But I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know. I apologize. I don't know enough about how much that event has already been dealt with in Greek cinema. I know there's a book about the civil wars in Greece, and civil wars in cinema in Greece and Spain and Ireland, for instance, which covers how the Greek Civil War has been represented cinematically. But I don't know enough about the life under the kernels. It's usually the case that people make documentaries about it, and then fiction follows afterwards.
Very, very good remarks, David. Bravo, thank you. Dimitri?
Oh, yes, actually, I think now that you talk about it, I think it's not really dealt with very much in fiction cinema in Greece. It is dealt in more in terms of documentaries, for example. But right now it is possible to find people who lived through this period and are willing to talk about their experiences. So it's a real treasure of knowledge to find the different perspectives on this. And I think it's actually a fantastic inspiration for feature films. I think it's there are lots of great stories to be told in this period. I mean, documentaries, of course, great, but I think fiction would open a possibility to tell different kinds of stories based on this. So it would bring a whole new audience. It will make
COVID.
Yes, it will help people.
No, it's from the basement.
What's interesting to me is, like, as someone looking at it from a distance, if one thinks about the Chilean dictatorship,
yes,
and the impact that the film, The Battle of Chile, I don't know if you know that film, but it's a documentary made during the early 70s. And the documentary, and there's quite a significant level of cinema about, the dictatorship in Chile. But to my knowledge, internationally, less about Greece. But of course, for me, the reason I think it's interesting is because these are not films about the past. Because we live in a moment when the possibility of dictatorship is like in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and Hungary, and in the United States of America, where Trump was even raising the possibility of staying in power. It doesn't look as if that's going to happen anymore. But it strikes me that these are films which are about the past, but also about the present and perhaps the future.
I agree with you. That's what I was about to say. We have remnants from these periods. That's it. It's not only that what Dimitri said, we have great stories, of course, and very emotional and very strong stories. We have many remnants from these periods. Not only Greece, also Spain that you mentioned, also Chile, I don't know in English, Chile, I know it in Spain, yeah. Also many countries, Argentina, yeah, many remnants. And we see more or less, actions from not the government also, but from policemen, from from people with power even during this period, this very difficult period that we're going through, So I agree with you a lot.
David, do you have a dream of making a feature film?
Yeah, I'm working on a number of different ideas, and one of the things I'm doing, I'll just mention it only because I'm here, but this, I don't know if you can see, but the material here, that's these materials are the archive of a friend of mine, Kenny, who was an extraordinary experimental theatre maker. And he was involved in our theatrical project, the Glamrock Dialogues. And Kenny died 2 years ago. And this is his archive material. And his archive material is going to be put in a place called the Scottish Theatre Archive. So I'm going to, the university actually gave me a little bit of money and to film the process. So I'm going to make I'm hoping to make, if I need more money, I've got a small amount to start. And I'm going to make a film which is about remembering Kenny through the process of archiving him or archiving his theatre work. Don't know if we're going to archive Kenny's personal materials, but just his theatrical stuff, because he was an extraordinary theatre maker and quite an extraordinary man. So in order to honour his memory, I would really like to make a film about that process. But of course, Banjaks is a totally kiboshed, prevented by COVID, because we can't, with the archiving process is stopped. But hopefully, when we have a vaccine and everything's fine, then we'll get back to archiving Kenny. And I would like that to be a feature length or a certainly longer than 20 or 30 minutes. And the only decision I'm thinking about is whether to make quite an ordinary film about an experimental filmmaker, a theatre maker, or else to make an experimental film about an experimental theatre maker. So I'm toying with the ideas, and I don't know what will happen, but we'll find out on the journey.
What are the options for your case as an academic to making films? Okay, you will get a small sponsorship from the university. What are the other options of funding for your project?
There are some kind of there's kind of money that artists and filmmakers can apply to, and then there's kind of cultural heritage funding projects that I'll most likely apply to. So although it's a film project, what they would be doing is they would be funding it, hopefully, because of its kind of history or cultural heritage aspect. So that's the kind of funding bodies that I would look towards. But of course, it's not easy getting funding. There is funding available, but it's difficult to absolutely secure it. So, but I think we've got enough to do something with this. So even if we don't get additional money, we'll make a small thing for her. But if we apply and get more money, then we would make something more substantial.
Nico, what are your thoughts for the future project? Have you written or read something? You work on something?
Right now, I'm working on the script of my graduation film, which is not going to be Bánτι. And there are many possible perspectives on it, so I'm not sure how it is going to what I'm gonna write. So I'm selecting ideas, and maybe it's gonna end by late January, and I'd like to submit it to the programs like microfilm we have here in Greece, so that it can find some investors, maybe.
Microfilm is open now, or is going to open?
I think it is gonna open on March. But until then, I have some poems I have been writing for for about a decade. So one of my first intentions is to publish them. And I would like to step by step, one day, make a feature film. But because right now I'm still a student and I have many things to learn about cinema and the aesthetics of cinema, I think that it's too early to talk about it.
So you're going to graduate when? January 2002?
No, I think it's going to be September 2021.
Okay. And you have to
film.
Have already the film? When?
I have to submit the film in the summer. So I'm going to shoot it maybe late spring with the same team, because we have great chemistry and I'm very happy working with those people. So right now I'm submitting Body to festivals, film festivals around the world, intending to publish the poems and writing the script for the next movie.
You know something? You can make a film about a poem, video poetry.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to make maybe an art video, or I'd like also to be involved in theater direction. It is something I really like. But right now, having in mind and the situation with the virus, I think that I will stick to the other plans, for the time being at least.
And I know that 𝘂𝗀𝗄𝗃 has a very good audience for theater. You can present there something.
Maybe, but the problem with the smaller cities in Greece is that, for example, 𝘂𝗀𝗃 has just one cinema, and there in that cinema only commercial movies are presented. So
you have a cinema club. I know very well 𝘂𝗀𝗃 because we have some directors from there, apart from you. They are very active. You have a very good cinema club, but you don't live there right now.
No, I don't live there. I live in Athens. Yeah, but I lived in 𝘂𝗀𝗃, then I studied marine biology. I studied some years in Volos, in central Greece. And after that, I decided that what I really like and what is my real passion is cinema, and trying to express myself through images.
Yeah, but you like also theater. You don't know, maybe you do both.
Yeah, maybe. Time will show.
Like Haris, he does both. Dimitri, so you work on this project about the dictatorship period, and what else do you prepare?
Actually, we have several projects in the works. First of all, before the lockdowns last year, we were preparing with Sofia to present a theatrical play, which I have also written. Sofia would be starring along with some other cast members. Unfortunately, it stopped because of the lockdowns. Also, I am preparing a short film that is an adaptation of an autobiographical book, but whose central theme is anorexia. And we were in full collaboration with the author. The script is complete. We are really happy with how it progresses. We are in early stages of pre-production, so to speak. And I'm also writing another theatrical play, which is we intend to in collaboration with a friend of mine who lives in Berlin, with the intention of me writing the play and him directing it in Berlin. So, yes, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
Very good. Okay, before we end this interesting discussion and meeting, what would you like to add in order to conclude? David?
I think the thing that I would say is that we live in the most interesting times where we come together through this weird, with this weird screen. I'm writing an essay just now about a film called 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗁. I don't know if anybody's seen it, an absolutely magnificent film from 1986. And I'm writing about looking at that film again and thinking about the fact that we can't be in the same room. And cinema is really, although we've watched the films online, cinema for me, like drama, is it's about the communism of bodies in the room, or at least the community of bodies in the room, and the collective experience of coming together. And I think that although we look forward to that coming back in next year, then I think festivals like this, which have managed to create something of a collective experience, have managed to keep that flame alive. It's the flickering flame of collectivity. So I would just end by thanking Petra for her contribution to keeping that flame alive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think we learn how to work in another way too, an additional way, and we start appreciate what we have when we are able to do that. And the theater and the big screen, it is always was a luxury, but it was for granted. We thought that it would be forever like that. So maybe we appreciate more now, and when it will come, we will be very happy. But now, yes, I think we learn another way too. But let's face it positively, that the festival runs in a different way. Harry?
I would be simple. I hope we'll meet again in an open theater next time. That's it.
Very well. Nico?
I believe that cinema and art in general is the best way to connect with people and to achieve self-knowledge by viewing other people's stories. And I'm really grateful that this film is gonna reach a bigger audience than just be presented in a school. So yes. I want to express again my gratitude to all the hosts of the festival and to all the people that collaborated for the making of the film.
Very well. Dimitri and Sophia?
It was very nice meeting you all and talking with you. I would like to meet you in person in Bridges Festival or maybe in another festival. Keep making art and Merry Christmas.
Bravo. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You know, on Christmas Day we will be here, 8 o'clock. I don't know, you will not go to the restaurants or to big parties, but here we will have a big party from 28 countries.
Excellent.
Yes, why not? See, Dimitri, what would you like to add?
Yes, yes, on behalf of amazing cast and crew, thank you very much for the opportunity to showcase our film in the Bridges Film Festival. All of us are really glad about that, and for organizing these live talks, these live events, which is, since we can't meet in person, it's the next best thing. Hopefully, of course, sooner rather than later, we would love to attend a festival in person. We're actually really excited to be able to visit Napoli. That's
This is beautiful, by the way.
Yes. In May, maybe we will see how situation will be. the last 2 years, we were saying that your film will be for screening. It is eligible for screening if there will be attendance of the director. So I think it was not prophetic for the situation now, but let's appreciate more the selections in the festivals, the years to come, and try to be there and to meet all of us in person. But I think this way it came in order to stay, so it will be combined with the live screenings, and it will be more easy for us to invite and to be on Facebook and on Zoom to meet the rest of the filmmakers who will be in the venue. So we are educated, all of us, little by little. So that's all for now. Come tomorrow, 8 o'clock, every night until Christmas night. We will be here. This is recorded, will be on YouTube tomorrow, maybe with a bit edited. I would like to thank the persons that are behind this, Christos, and the other Christos, and Eleni, and the many volunteers of the festival, or the press that somehow they communicate what we do here, and the audience, because there is an audience apart from you watching your films. And the festival pass holders are eligible to vote for a film, only one film. So we will see who is the winner. There are several jurors. If you go to visit at apart from the audience, there are several jurors that watch your films, and they will be present on Christmas Day. Λοιπόν, thank you very much. Good night. Be safe, healthy, and be inspired.